right, we moved our way to Golden Meadow, and of course we are recapping Hurricane Ida a year ago. And what a year it was. And you remember, we stopped shortly after and talked with Councilman Councilman Lorraine, who joins us now. And Mr. Lorraine, good to see you again.
Yeah, thank you, Martin. And at least today we got some decent weather, and it's not raining. And I could remember you and I go way back. This was one of the worst hurricanes that had ever hit us. But I remember in 1985 when you first started, that wasn't a good one either, Hurricane Juan.
Yeah.
But Ida just tore us up, and we still basically tore up, but it's coming back slowly.
Yeah.
You know, and they tell me it takes time, and it really does take time. Sometimes you really think it takes too much time, but I mean, it's coming. The trash is being picked up, and lights are being put back on, and it's just one thing at a time. And I can tell you this, my district is on the southernmost part of the parish, and I can tell you when you're at the end of the line, you're at the end of the line. And but it's getting done, you know, slowly. Yeah. And Archie always tells me it takes time, Daniel. And you know me, I understand it takes time, but it shouldn't take forever, you know. And but it's coming around. It's coming around.
Let me ask you your thoughts, because like you said, we've been through so many storms, and I've got a lot to gauge it from, even as a kid, seeing what Betsy did, but as a reporter, starting with Hurricane Juan, and there's no gauge for what we went through. I mean, this one rewrote everything, and it set the standard. Now everything's going to be compared to Ida.
Right, exactly. You know yourself, Hurricane Juan in 1985, if we'd have the levee system we got right now, that would have never happened. But unfortunately, we didn't have it at that time. But the hard work of the levee district and Wendell Curall and that whole gang, and some of the presidents before, Mr. Kali and Mr. Leon Theriot, they always had some good people on there. And thank God for the people of the area that always supported their proposals to get some revenue. And they never did say no. It was always approved, and they do the best they can. And like I told you on your show one day, I says, CNN had called me, and I was able to get on CNN. Yeah. And she wanted to know why I thought the levees would hold up. I says, well, ma'am, I can tell you this. A levee can break at any given time. It's not guaranteed. Well, she said they didn't hold up in New Orleans, but I said, whoa, let me tell you something. You can't compare the New Orleans levees with South Lafourche. And that's a proven factor.
Right. And you're right. There's been a lot of Cajun ingenuity, for lack of a better word, in putting a lot of this together. And a lot of people in this area have become experts on putting together floodgates and everything else. But our camera on that floodgate right behind you was invaluable, because when everybody vacated to the hospital to evacuate, where that weld mark was, when Wendell said that weld mark was at 11 feet, and we said it's 5 feet over, that told us we were at 16 feet at this point.
Exactly, and if you remember right, they had just did some major repairs to raise this when they raised the levee right here. And if that wouldn't have been done, then we'd have had a problem. Yeah. But you know, we succeeded, and people got their money's worth.
Yeah. What are you seeing right now in Golden Meadow that you have come so far, just like we just left Grand Isle? Mayor Carmondale's come so far, but when you have a storm like this, there's going to be a lot of work for a lot of years. What's the next step you think needs to be done?
Well, we need to address the two major things that need to be done. The Golden Meadow Library was completely gone. They have it down in the South Lafourche Library. The South Lafourche Library is a little different than all the others, because that was the base for the people of Ward 10 to go and make a one-stop shop. You can get your permits, you can get the district attorney, the assessor, everybody was there. The library, community action, all these organizations. So now, this is not, they're working on getting it back up, but it'll probably be a while. Now they got to drive all the way to Matthews or Thibodeau, mostly Matthews, you know, which is centrally located. But that's a couple of things that really needs to be put back on. And as you know, the hospital was hit very hard, and Cassidy came down, and there's some money on that. And eventually they'll get that going. It's slow. It's so slow, it's almost in slow motion.
As we make our way down with about a minute and a half left, moving the grant out of Terrebonne Parish, what's the one word you would give your constituents, or the one phrase you would tell them to just hang in there if they're still struggling?
Just be patient. You know, FEMA has helped some people, but there's a lot of people that needed help that didn't get it. And there's some that didn't really need it, they got it. But I don't control that. That's
right.
What's that, Washington, D.C.? Did I say that right?
You said it absolutely correct.
Federal government. So, your hands get tired on some of these things, but I really think deep down inside, everybody gave it their best shot, because we were really hit by one of the worst storms that I've ever seen. And hopefully we never get hit again. But the problem is somebody else is going to get hit. It's just one of those things that it doesn't stop.
Right.
And you pray for the best.
That's it. There you have it. Mr. Daniel Lorraine, we're in Golden Meadow. You've seen him work so hard over the years, and he's always out here accessible and making things happen. And we're making our way once again from Grand Isle through Golden Meadow. We're going to visit some people that lost everything and see how they're faring now here in the area. So eventually we'll end up in Terrebonne Parish. But we thank Mr. Lorraine for taking time out of his busy schedule, visiting with us and keeping us up to date. We'll continue to bring you up to speed 1 year after Hurricane Ida just roared through here. And we leave you with shots once again of still no homes on this side of the levee system.